we will go to a new topic today. So this is regarding composite bar. So still now what we discussed is a single bar which is having a force, some parallel force which is acting, and we identify what is the change in length with respect to that. Then we consider a bar which is arranged parallelly. So something like this, you can able to see in your figure. So one material and two material which is connected together, and the force is applied on the ends of these two materials. So when you apply a force here, what happens here is your bar, your force will be distributed on each of this bar. So we consider this is having material 1 and material 2, different materials. So here one material will have different force which is taken. The other material will take some other force. For example, if you have 100 kilonewton, one material may take 70 kilonewton and other may take 30 kilonewton. It may differ also. So we don't know exactly whether it is 70 or 30, but there will be a distribution of your forces. But what happens to your deflection? So when you apply a force on these things, what happens? The deflection, whatever extension you are getting, that will be common for both. So which means I can able to relate it as two equations. Number one, I say that force is distributed, which is P is equal to P1 plus P2. The other one is your lengths, your change in lengths are always same. So change in length del L1 is equal to del L2. So this is also applicable for a condition like this. So your length is different. Even your length is different, your change in length is always same. So what happens? The extension will cause along this direction. So this is a compression force, right? So this will reduce your direction like this. So this will be del L for both cases, for both the material. So we have two formulas here. One, P is equal to P1 plus P2. Other one, change in length for material 1 is equal to change in length for material 2. So now what we can do is, let me consider this in terms of stress. I'm going to change this in terms of stress. So P is common. So P is the input force. This P, I have to change it into stress. What is the formula for stress? You know that stress is equal to force by area, which in turn I can write as force is equal to stress into area. So this is my formula. So let me apply it here. In that case, your P will be equal to sigma 1 A1 plus sigma 2 A2. So this is my formula. Another formula which is relating your P, right? But I am writing in terms of stress. So there may be two different types of problems. Sometimes the problem they will ask you to identify force. In that case, we can apply this one, P is equal to P1 plus P2. Sometimes they will ask you to identify stress. In that case, I can use this as a formula. P is equal to sigma 1 A1 plus sigma 2 A2. So similar to that, let me change this formula. Where change in length is equal to change in length. So what is the formula for change in length? So it is P L by AE. This is my formula. So in that case, I can write this like this. So P1 L1 by A1 E1 is equal to P2 L2 by A2 E2. So two change in lengths. I'm writing it like this. So this is for force. I can also replace this. What is P by A? Can anyone tell me what is P by A?
Yes, sir.
Stress one, sir.
Stress. Stress. So which means I can write as sigma 1 L1 by E1 is equal to sigma 2 L2 by E2. This is another formula replacing this del L1. Okay. So depends on type of problem. You can rewrite your formula like this and you can solve a problem related to this. So let me proceed with that. Let me consider this problem. So you have a composite bar. So the length of the bar is around 600 mm, and one is an aluminum which is having 40 mm wide and 20 mm thick, and another is a steel which is 60 mm wide and 15 mm thick. So these are the two bars. So they have mentioned what is the elasticity for aluminum and steel, each component. They are asking you to identify what is the stress, what is the stress developed in each material, and what is the extension, if you have a tensile force of 60 kilonewton which is acting on one side. Okay, this is the formula. So what formula we use? So we use, it's a composite material, right? We use the two formulas. Let me write down what are the problem related to that. So first thing, I'll write all the given data. So you have length L, which is 600 mm. You have force P, which is 60 kilonewton. We can write it as 60 into 10 power 3. And you also know what is the area. So area for first material is 40 into 20. And area for second material is 60 into 15. So we identify what are the areas with respect to that. We also know what is the Young's modulus, EA and ES. So A indicates aluminum and S indicates your steel. So these are the given data. So now what I can do, I can write first change in length are equal. So del L1, del LA is equal to del LS, which I can write as PL by AE is equal to PL by AE. So I'll write out what is the value with respect to that. So let me identify what is your PA. So PA is the unknown value because we don't know what is the distribution. So length is common here, which is 600 divided by your area 800 into 100 into 5. All the data we are writing. So here what happens is your 600 gets cancelled because both are on opposite sides. So when you bring it on one side, it gets cancelled. So when you solve this, you will get an equation like this. So PS is equal to 2.25 PA. We'll go for the next formula. So what is the next formula? Your force is distributed. So what is P is equal to PA plus PS. So which means I can write as PA plus PS is equal to 60 into 10 power 3. So we written like this. So now what we can do, we can just equate it. Let us equate it. So equate this two. So you have PA and this. So let me substitute it here in terms of PS. You will get 2.25 PA is equal to 60 into 10 power 3. So from this I will get what is my PA. So PA is around 18.46 kilonewton. And I will also get what is PS after substituting in this equation. So multiplying with 2.25, you will get what is your PS. So this data is known. So now, but they are asking you to identify stress. Alright, let us go for stress. Stress is force by cross section area. So stress in aluminum strip will be equal to 18462 divided by cross section area. Cross section area is 800. Substitute. So we'll get what is the stress. Similarly, stress in steel, again force by cross section area for steel, which is 900. So you'll get another value. So these are by stresses. Next step is you have to identify what is the extension. So extension, you can use any one of the formula. So you know that del L is equal to PL by AE. Either I can consider PA or PS, whatever it is. Right? So let me consider PA. So PA L by AA EA. You know all the values. PA, you know what is the value. So everything I'm substituting. I'm substituting as 18462 into L is 600 divided by AA. So what is AA? AA is 800 into Young's modulus. Young's modulus is 1 into 10 power 5. I get 0.138 mm. So this is my answer. So let me consider here, you have a concrete column. So the column is around 250 into 250 mm and it is reinforced with 8 steel bars. So something like this. So you have a concrete column, so which is having steel bars in between. So they mentioned what is the total area of steel bar. What is the total area? Total area is 168.5 mm square. So which is all for all the area. So all the steel bar is this. Now they're asking what is the stress in concrete and steel. They mentioned what is the Young's modulus. They mentioned it like this. Modulus of velocity for steel. So ES is 18 times of EC. They mentioned that. And they also mentioned what is the load. Load is 270 kilonewton. Let us identify what is the area for the concrete. So it is 250 into 250. Will that be the area? Will 250 into
Sir,
250 be
area of
the area
steel
of
bar
the
minus
concrete?
1.
Yes, very good. So you have to subtract this steel bar. Then only you will get the correct area for your concrete. So they mentioned ES is equal to 18 times of EC. That's why you're writing like this. ES by EC is equal to 18. So we know that first step is change in length for steel is equal to change in length for concrete. So we write it like this. PL by AE is equal to, so that is with respect to steel is equal to with respect to concrete, right? So now what is this P by A? So P by A is stress. So I will write it like this, right? So this is stress. So P by A is stress because we are asking to identify stress, right? That's why. So again, P by A is stress. So sigma S, L is common. So I will cancel this to L. So sigma S by E is equal to sigma C by AC. This is the formula I am getting. So now let me substitute. So we know that ES by EC is 18. So ES by EC, ES by EC is 18. So sigma S is equal to 18 times of sigma C. This is my equation. We go for the next one. Your force. So force is equal to P1 into P2. So P1 plus P2, which I write it as sigma S AS plus sigma C AC. You know all the values. So sigma S is unknown. AS I know, which we already identified. So 1608.5. Let me substitute it. So 1608.5 sigma X plus, so 60891.5 sigma C is equal to your force P. So force P is 270 into 10 power 3. So we have this. So we got all this data now. What we can do, we will just equate 1 and 2. So when you equate 1 and 2, so what will get? So solving 1 and 2. So we'll get the values of sigma C and sigma S. So in this problem, there are two aluminum bars and steel bar at the center. They mention what is the area for each of this. So let me consider AL. So area for aluminum is equal to, they mentioned it is 1200 mm square. So 1200 mm square. Next, area for steel, that is also given. Area for steel, ST. So it is equal to 1000 mm square. They also mentioned what is the Young's modulus. Young's modulus for steel is 2 into 10 power 5 Newton per mm square. And Young's modulus for aluminum, so AL is 1 into 10 power 5 Newton per mm square. So the load is also given. So in the figure, so the load is around 250 kilonewton. So I will write it here. So your force P is 250 kilonewton, 250 into 10 power 3 Newton. And you have different length. So length for aluminum is 160 mm. And length for steel is 240 mm. Right? So from the figure, I identified these three data. So now we got all this data. So only we have to substitute it accordingly. Right? So how the force is distributed? First thing is, let us identify what is the force, P. The force is distributed in 3 of this, right? When I say 3 of this, it is like force for aluminum,
Force for
plus
steel, force for aluminum.
force for steel, plus force for again aluminum, which means I can write as P is equal to PST plus 2 times of PAL. On a problem, in a problem, right? So what we did, we have something like this, and inside this you have some
Steel bars.
steel rods. So 1, 2, 3, something like this, right? So this is the thing. So அப்ப இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் படி என்ன வரணும்னா, so PC plus 8 steel rods இருந்தது. அப்ப 8 PS தானே வரணும். ஏன் அப்படி போடலமா?
சார் அவங்க क्वेश्चनல டோட்டல்னு கொடுத்துட்டு இருந்தாங்க சார்.
Yes.
Total area of
என்ன
steel bars கொடுத்துட்டாங்க.
So ஸ்டீலோட டோட்டல் கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. So எல்லாவோட ஸ்டீல் பார் சேர்த்து கொடுத்ததுனால we consider only PS and PC. Right. So let me proceed. So you have P which is equal to PS plus 2 times of PAL. So this is my first equation. So I will write it in an equation form. So we can write it like this. So PST plus 2 times of PAL is equal to P. What is P? We already know, which is 2500 into 10 power 3. So 250 into 10 power 3. Okay. So the question is to identify the stress. So in that case, I will change this P in terms of stress. So how to do that? So you know that P is equal to stress into area. So which means I can write this equation like stress in steel into area for steel plus 2 times stress in aluminum into area for aluminum is equal to 250 into 10 power 3. So you know what is the area value. So area for steel is 1000 and area for aluminum is 1200. So let me substitute it. So 1000 into stress in steel plus 1200. This is 1200, right? So 1200 into 2. So it is 2400 into stress in aluminum is equal to 250 into 10 power 3. Let me consider this as equation 1. So the next step is I'll go for change in length for steel should be equal to change in length for aluminum. Right? Actually, don't put 2 here. So actually it has to be like this. Change in length for first aluminum rod is equal to change in length for second steel rod is equal to change in length for next aluminum rod. So like this. Okay. So del L A1 plus del L S plus del L A2, something like that. So since both are same, I am neglecting one term. So I'll write it like this. So change in length for steel is equal to change in length for aluminum. Now you know what is the formula. So del L is P L by AE. So P L by AE for aluminum. All are for aluminum. And you know that. So this 2 and this 2 I can combine. I can write it in terms of stress. So what will get? I'll get stress in steel into your length for steel divided by Young's modulus for steel is equal to stress in aluminum into length in aluminum divided by Young's modulus for aluminum. So let me substitute it. So stress in steel, I don't know. Aluminum length for steel rod. So length for steel rod is known, 240 mm. So this is 240. So 240 divided by Young's modulus for steel rod. Young's modulus for steel rod is 2 into 10 power 5. So this is 2 into 10 power 5 is equal to, so stress in aluminum into length of aluminum is 160. So length of aluminum is 160. So 160 divided by 1 into 10 power 5. This for aluminum. So let me substitute it. So your stress is equal to, stress in steel is equal to other things. I will cross multiply. So 2 into 10 power 5 divided by 1 into 10 power 5. This numerator will come to denominator into 240 into 160. 6 for aluminum. So what is was stress in steel? We are getting 1.333 sigma there. This is equation 2. So substitute this equation 2 in equation 1. Right? Substitute 2 in 1. So what will get? So still 1000 into 1.333 sigma AL plus 2400 sigma AL plus 2400 sigma AL is equal to your force. So force is 2500 into 250 into 10 power 3. 250 into 10 power 3. What is your sigma AL? Okay, you are getting 66.97 Newton per ounce square. I can substitute it to identify what is your sigma. Yes, steel. I have to multiply with 1.33. Multiply and tell me what is for this value. We are getting 89.27 Newton per ounce square. So this is my answer. So you have a concrete column, 500 into 500 in cross section. It is reinforced by 4 steel bars of diameter 25 mm, each in one corner. Okay. The column is carrying a load of 10 kilonewton. You have to identify what is the stress in concrete and steel bars. So Young's modulus for steel is given, which is 210 gigapascal, and for concrete it is 18 gigapascal. The first step is, let us identify what is your Young's modulus for steel divided by Young's modulus for concrete, which will be equal to 210 divided by 14. So how much it will be? I think it is 15. So this is my cross section, which is 500 into 500, and one diameter is given, which is 25 mm. So now area of the steel will identify what is the area here? Pi by 4 d square. What is pi by 4 d square? What you are getting? You are getting 490.25. Written here as 887. So this has to be multiplied with 4. So when I multiply with 4, your area of the concrete will be 25000 minus 490.81 into 4. Right? That will be the value here. Right? Sorry. So again, procedure is same. Maybe I will solve this and I will give it to you later. Right? So I think whatever I have just typed here is wrong. So change in length is, you are going to apply the same. Change in length is equal to, for steel is equal to change in length for concrete. We will equate it. So this again, I can say this as a stress. These are all stress. So I can equate it. But don't look after the answer. Answer is wrong. Right? This is my first equation. My second equation. So yes will be different. That will be this into 4. And we have to multiply accordingly, and I am going to substitute it. Okay. So let us have one more problem here, which is having 3 different material bar. So how to solve a problem related to this? So you have 3 bars made of a copper, zinc, and aluminum. So everything is having equal length, and they mention what is the cross section. Your cross section is 500 for copper, 750 for zinc, and 1000 for aluminum. So they are connected together and everything is acting a force of around 250 kilonewton. So in that case, what will be your load? They are asking what is the load, not the stress. Sorry, they are asking both. So what is be the load and stress, which is on the copper, zinc, and aluminum bars. So they mentioned what is the Young's modulus and other data. So for this problem, first let us fix what are our units. So I'm going to solve this in Newton and in mm. So make sure everything is in Newton and mm. So let me call this as P. This I will call it as Z, and this I will call it as A. Okay. So whenever I say I write it as EC, it indicates Young's modulus for copper. So this is equal to 1.3 into 10 power 5 Newton per mm square. Similarly, EZ, right? So this is Young's modulus for zinc, which is 1 into 10 power 5 Newton per mm square. And EA, so EA is Young's modulus for aluminum, which is 0.8 into 10 power 5 Newton per mm square. So other than this, you also have what is the areas. So area for copper AC is 500 mm square, which is given. Area for zinc is 750, which is also given. And area for your aluminum, so is 1000 mm square, that is also given. So since you have three different materials, so you know that your force will be distributed, right? So the first thing is related with force. So I say that P, force P is equal to PC plus PZ plus PA. This is my first equation. So, but anyway, I can't solve any of this. So just it's an equation, that's it. Okay. So next, what about your change in length? So we consider change in length. Your change in length for copper will be equal to the change in length for zinc, and that will be equal to the change in length for aluminum. So these are your change in lengths. In that case, I can equate it accordingly, right? So you know that. So what is change in length? Formula. The formula for change in length is PL by AE. Let me apply that. So in that case, I can write this as PC, L is common, divided by AC and EC is equal to PZ, L is common, divided by AZ, EZ is equal to PA, L divided by AA, EA. So to identify the relations, what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider this as equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3. So to solve this, let me relate 1 and 2 first. 1 and 2. If I relate 1 and 2, I will get PC divided by AC EC is equal to PZ divided by AZ EZ. So LL is a common term, I can cancel that. So in that case, I can write what is the relation of PC in terms of PZ. Okay, so which is AC EC cross multiplying divided by AZ EZ into PZ. So let me write what are the data. So PC is equal to AC. So so area for copper is 500. So this is 500 into Young's modulus for copper. It is 1.3 into 10 power 5. 0.3 into 10 power 5 divided by area for zinc, it is 750 into Young's modulus for zinc, it is 1 into 10 power 5. 1 into 10 power 5. So into PZ. So what is the relation? What is PC in terms of PZ? Okay, thank you. So it is 0.8666 PZ. Okay, so my aim is to convert everything. So you have, this is my formula. I have PZ, PZ and PA. My aim is to convert everything in terms of one data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert everything as PC. This also I have to convert it to PC and this also I have to convert it to PC. So in that case, what I can do, I have to bring this on the other side. Okay, so which means I will get PZ, which is equal to 1 divided by 0.866. So which is around 1.156. So 1.154 PC. You may consider this as equation 2. So this is my first equation. Next, my plan is again I have to convert PA in terms of PC. In that case, my relation is relating 1 and 3, not 2 and 3. Okay, so I'm going to relate 1 and 3 now. So let me go to relation 1 and 3. So if I go for 1 and 3, again, we can able to see that. So PC by AC EC is equal to PA divided by AA EA. So this is my formula. So which means, okay, I will directly bring this on the other side. So PA will be equal to AA EA divided by AC EC into PC. So which is AA, what is AA? Area for aluminum, which is 1000. So this is 1000 into EA, Young's modulus for aluminum. It is 0.8 into 10 power 5. So this is 0.8 into 10 power 5 divided by AC for copper. So copper is 500 into Young's modulus for copper. It is 1.3 into 10 power 5. This is PA. And here you will have PC. So what is your PA now? 1.230 PC. Hope everyone is getting this answer. Let me consider this as equation number 3. Now you substitute this 2 and 3 in equation 1. So P is equal to PC plus, and you have PZ in terms of PC. What is the value? It is 1.154 PC. So 1.154 PC plus 1.230 PC. What is this P? P is your load, total load. Total load is 250 kilonewton. So I'm going to apply that. So in that case, I can add all these things, right? So what will get? So 1 plus 1.154 plus 1.230. So we're getting
3.384.
So 3.384 PC is equal to 250 into 10 power 3. So I'm converting your kilo into Newton. Okay, that is why we are getting this 10 power 3. So you will get PC now. So PC is 250 10 power 3 divided by 3.384. So the answer is around
73,877, sir.
Yeah, 73,877.06 Newton. Or I can say that PC is equal to 73.87 kilonewton. This is my first equation. So this is my load in copper. Next, to identify load in zinc. So load in zinc, you know that the relation road in zinc is 1.154 times of road in copper. So I have to multiply with 1.154. So this, whatever the value we are getting, so 73.87 into 1.134.
85.24, sir.
1.154 then.
One almost.
85.24. Yeah, we are getting 85.245 kilonewton. Similarly, let us identify what is for PA. So PA is, I have to multiply that with 1.23. So you are getting 90.86. 90.86 kilonewton. So these are my answers. So load distributed along your each beam. So they are also asking you what is the stress. So let us identify what is the stress. Stress in bars. You know that stress in copper. Sorry. So stress in copper is equal to force in copper divided by area, force by cross section area. So force is 73.87 divided by cross section area. What is your cross section area for copper? It is 500. So 500. So this is into 10 power 3. So converting that kilo. So what is your stress? 147.74 Newton per ounce square. Good. So now let us proceed with stress for zinc. So force for zinc divided by area of zinc. The force for the zinc is 85.254. So 245, sorry. 85.245 into 10 power 5, sorry, into 10 power 3 divided by area. Area is 750. What is your stress for zinc? 113.66 Newton per ounce square. Okay, good. Next, last. Stress for aluminum. Same. Force by cross section area. So force for aluminum is 90.86 into 10 power 3 divided by 1000. So what will get? I will get 90.86 Newton per ounce square. Right. So these are my answers.
Solved some basic problems. So most of the time you will get only a problem related to that. But this is somewhat complicated. What happens if there is a gap? Right? If you're able to see, there is 0.08 mm gap in this steel. So the brass is having extra length. In that case, what you have to do? So let me go for this problem. It says that you have a round steel rod. So it is actually in the front view, it looks like two bars. Actually, it is not a bar, it is a hollow cylinder. Okay. When you look at the front view, it looks like a two bars. It's a hollow cylinder, so brass tube. And another cylinder, a solid cylinder of a steel is there. The upper end of the rod is 0.08 mm below that of the tube. So your steel is kept 0.08 mm below. So they are asking you to determine the maximum permissible axial load. So how much load you can act so that your stress is 105 megapascal for steel and brass is 75 megapascal accordingly. So the maximum stress is given. So maximum this material can withstand this much amount of stress, which is 105 and 75. So if that is the case, what will be the load? How much load you have to apply so that you should not extend this, right? Stress இதை விட அதிகமா போச்சுன்னா என்ன ஆகும்னா ஃபெயிலியர் ஆயிடும். ஸோ ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் இதுதான் மேக்ஸிமம், இதுக்குள்ள இருக்கணும். மேக்ஸிமம்னா இந்த மேக்ஸிமம் லெவல் வரைக்கும் வச்சுக்கிறோம். ஸோ அப் டு திஸ் லெவல் I have to identify எவ்வளோ load act பண்ணலாம். So what is the load, total load W, right? This is my first question. Second question is, if your material stress is equal, then what will be the change in length for the particular section? So இது மொத்தத்துக்கும் change in length எவ்வளோன்னு கேட்குறாங்க. So that is the second part. So a little complicated problem. So where we have to think and we have to solve the problem accordingly. So this is taken from Ratan. So page number 16, example 1.6. You can verify that also. So it is in book Strength of Materials by Ratan. Okay, right. So let us proceed. So first, let me consider you have what is the maximum stress for steel and what is the maximum stress for your brass. So maximum stress for brass is given, which is 75 megapascal. You know that 1 megapascal is 1 Newton per mm square. So again, so this problem I am going to solve in Newton and mm. So I am converting everything in Newton and mm. So 75 megapascal is 75 Newton per mm square. Similarly, 105 megapascal, it is 105 Newton per mm square. So we are just identify what is the value which is given data. Then they are given what is the Young's modulus. Young's modulus is 210 gigapascal. So 210 gigapascal is 210 into 10 power 3 megapascal. Giga is 10 power 9. So giga is 10 power 9. I am just changing it to 10 power 3 and 10 power 6. 10 power 6 is mega, right? 10 power 6 is mega. So 210 into 10 power 3 megapascal. Similarly, Young's modulus for brass is also 105 into 10 power 3 megapascal, which I can write as 210 into 10 power 3 Newton per mm square, because 1 megapascal is 1 Newton per mm square. Similarly, EB also Newton per mm square. All the data has been converted to Newton and mm. So now we can proceed in solving this problem, right? So okay. So now what I can do is, I'm going to consider two cases. First, let us solve only the first one, the first subdivision. So first subdivision is what is the maximum load. So my aim is to identify what is the maximum load. There is no relation with first segment and second segment, because second segment they say that compressive stress is equal for brass and steel, whereas in the first statement they are given the values of maximum stress, something like that. So it is somewhat different. So don't get confused. The statement for the first subdivision is up to this. Other is different. Okay, a little bit there will be a small confusion when you read the question, because the values are different here, whereas here they say that it is equal, right? It is next part. Okay, first let us concentrate on the first part. First part, you have to identify the maximum load. For the maximum load, you are given the stress value. So this value is given. This are all comes under first part. Of course, this also. So all the values are given. Only thing is I have to identify what is the maximum load. To do this, let me consider case 1. What is this case 1? So I can split this problem into two. First one, I can say that you don't have composite. It is not, it's a single material. When up to 0.08, the contact is only for the brass. There is no contact with the steel. So it is not a composite bar. Okay, it is just a single bar. So we use the formula. So PL by AE. Del L is equal to PL by AE. This is the first part. The second part is, after 0.08 mm, brass and steel will get contact. First, I want to identify what is the stress developed for this 0.08 mm extension. Then I want to concentrate on a composite bar and we have to solve. Only for the composite bar we have that two formulas, which is P is equal to P1 plus P2 and del L is equal to del L. So del L for brass is equal to del L for steel. So that two conditions is there, right? So, but for a single material, we have to use only PL by AE, right? So the first case is, I'm going to consider it's a single material. So you don't have any contact with the material. So there is no contact with the steel. So there is only one material. So now what happens? I can say, I can identify change in length del L. So del L is equal to PL by AE. This is the common formula. Here we know, so it is single material till 0.08 mm. So which means del L is 0.08. So we don't know what is P value. That will be P, right? L. What is L? So L is the area. So area of your brass. So sorry, length of your brass. Length of the brass is 300. So the total length is 300. So it is 300 divided by area for brass into Young's modulus for brass. Now, my aim is to identify what is the area for brass. First, let us identify what is the area. It's a hollow circle. So it is like this. So you have two circles, something like this. The larger circle is 60 mm and the smaller circle, inner diameter is 50 mm. So it is 60 square minus 50 square, 863.5. So we identified what is our area. Next, you know what is your Young's modulus, that is also known, which is for a brass, it is 105 into 10 power 3. So it is 105 into 10 power 3. So just I am going to substitute and identify the value of P. So P. So P, I will write it as P is equal to, I will cross multiply. It is 0.08 into AB, which is 863.5 into EB, which is 105 into 10 power 3 divided by 300. So let us identify what is the value of P. So what is your P value? 24178 Newton. So our aim is to identify the stress also. Because till 0.08, you should know what is the stress which is developed. Okay. So let me identify what is the stress. So stress is equal to P by A. P is this 24178 divided by area 863.5. You may ask, P by A is stress, why can't we directly solve it? But I need the load value also, because the question is to identify the load value. Stress is all we need, so to reduce the values of your total stress. So what is the value for this? It's 28 Newton per mm square. So this is up to 0.08 mm. After this, what happens? Brass and steel. So it is both are having contact, right? So that is case 2. Okay. Before that, you know what is the maximum stress for brass. So for brass. So maximum stress for brass is given. So which is 75 Newton per mm square. So this is the maximum stress it can withstand. This is 75 Newton per mm square. Now, in this 75 Newton per mm square, for 0.08 mm, so for 0.08 mm deflection, it forms this much amount of stress. Maximum it can withstand only 75. So for a single material, you got 28. For composite material, what is the applicable stress value? So stress for composite. So the stress for the composite bar in brass will be maximum stress 75 minus this 28. So what is the value? It is 47 Newton per mm square. Now let me go for case 2. So case 2 is composite bar. When you go for a composite bar, it is very, very important. You should use the two formulas. First one, your force will be equal to force developed in steel plus force developed in brass, which I can write it as P, I can write it as sigma S into AS. So because we have the values for stress, so I am equating accordingly. So this I am writing like this. So since I won't identify P value, I'm writing in the other way, right? Sigma S AS plus sigma B AB is equal to your value P. Let me consider this as a first equation. So we already identified AB value, which we know. So let us identify AS value also, so that it will be easy for calculation. So AS will be pi by 4 into D square. So D is 36 here. So it is 36 square. It's a solid circle. So can you tell me what is AS? 1017.36 mm square. Right? So already we know what is AB, which is also we identified, which is 863 point. So it is 1017.36 sigma S plus 863.5 sigma B is equal to T. I will call this as equation. Second one is change in length is equal. So I can say that change in length for brass will be equal to change in length for steel. Right? So you know the formula. So my formula is PB LB by AB EB is equal to PS LS by AS ES. Okay, so this is my formula for change in length for brass and change in length for steel. Let us identify the value. So you know what is the value for AB, EB, AS, ES. So only thing is I have to concentrate on LB and LS. So what is my LB? And you look here, LB is length of my brass. So my length of my brass in composite material position. So which means I have completed up to this part. So now only it is having contact. So the length has to be this one. Okay. So this is my length. Okay. So because this part is over. But anyway, so since it is 0.08, there is no much difference in it. But actually it has to be like this. This is my length because this length is the composite bar length. So which will be 300 minus 0.08. There is no much difference, but in accuracy I am doing it. So you can also directly write as 300 approximately because there won't be much difference. Okay, but in real part, so for example, if the problem is instead of 0.08, if they call it as 8 mm, then it gives a much difference. So I'm doing it in the right way. Okay, so if you refer your book, they say that approximately equal to 300. But real thing is, so for composite length is 300 minus 0.08. So that will be my LB value. LB is 300 minus 0.08. Missed. Let us go for LS. Length of my steel. Length of my steel is from here to down. Again, I think there is no much difference. I think it gets cancelled, right? So again, so when you consider here, it is 300 plus 100 minus 0.08. Okay, so it is 400 minus 0.08. 299.02, sorry, 92. And this will be 399.92. We will just substitute all the what are the values. So PB into LB, which is 299.92 divided by AB. AB is, I think, brass 863. So 863.5 into EB, which is 105 into 10 to the power 3, will be equal to PS into LS, which is 399.92 divided by, so AS, which is 1017.36 into 210 into 10 power 3. PB is equal to PS. How much value will be? So PB is 0.567 PS. So what is PS in terms of PV? It will be 1.76, right?
76.
So this is my value. This thing I should have considered as sigma B. Similarly, this I should have considered as sigma S. So when you're done that, so lots of this area will be cancelled and you'll get something related with sigma B and sigma S. Right? That is what I want. So just, okay, I am doing it again, right? So I am just converting this to again sigma, right? So what I will get, sigma S will be equal to 1.76 into AB. So area for brass is 863.5, right? Divided by AS. AS is 1017.36 into sigma B. Right? What is the value for this? So it is around 1.5 sigma B. Right? This is equation 2. Right? So now let me substitute this in equation 1. Right? Because everything is in 1 here. So I can substitute it. So when I substitute, what I will get is sigma S I have to consider as 1.5 sigma B, which is so 1017.36 into 1.5 sigma B plus 863.5 into sigma B is equal to your value of P. So now sigma B maximum, it can be 47. So because for a composite brass, so 28 has been taken for single material. So after that, remaining is only 47, right? So sigma B is 47 here. Let us substitute 47, right? When I substitute 47, what will you get? So 1017.36 into 1.5 into 47 plus 863.5 into 47 is equal to your P value. So what is the value of P? So it is 112,308 Newton. So this is the force developed for the composite bar. So but total weight, total force will be force developed for a single plus force developed for the composite, which will be equal to force developed for a single we already identified, which is 24178 plus 112,308. So this is the total force W. So 136486 Newton, or I can write as 136.48 kilonewton. So this is my answer for the first subdivision. Any doubt up to this?
Sir, so we were given that maximum stress for steel 105 Newton per mm square.
Yeah, okay.
So why didn't we use that in equation 1? Sigma S AS plus sigma B into AB equal to P force.
Yeah, very good question. So you have two stress values. One is 47 Newton per mm square, which is for brass. Other end for steel, which is 105, right?
Yes, sir.
105. So you're asking that why won't we apply the steel here instead of brass?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
steel is having more strength. The value of stress is maximum when compared to brass. So when you apply a force, which one
Yes.
will break first? Brass or steel?
Brass.
Brass, because that value comes first,
Yes.
right? So stress is slowly increasing. 47 is the first value rather than 105. Okay, which means when you go for 105, your brass will be broken.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
If we
So
use that, okay, okay.
yeah, when you go for 105, automatically at that time your brass would have broken, because maximum stress can withstand by brass is only 47. So always you have to put minimum value here, right?
Okay, sir.
So that is the reason we use brass. We are not using.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now we will go for subdivision 2. Let us go for change in length. So for change in length, they are saying that sigma B is equal to sigma S. So the stress are equal. So in the question they mentioned that the compressive stresses in steel and brasses are same. What will be the change in length? Okay, simple. So I'm not going to consider what are the previous cases and all. Leave that, right? Forget about it. So now we are in second case, right? And our aim is only to identify what is your value of del L, right? So I want to identify only del L. Okay. So now let us write what is the formula for del L. So del L for brass is equal to del L for steel. Here, when I consider del L for brass is here. It is having extra extension of 0.08. Okay. So which means I can write it like this. This is del L plus 0.08. So of course, let me consider this as capital L. So for better understanding purpose, I will convert this as capital L because this is total L. Okay, del L for B is equal to del L for S. So this is del L for brass plus 0.08. Why we add this 0.08? Because your brass is 0.0. It has to come. It has to have another extension of 0.08 so that it will be equal to your steel. Steel is del L for S. There is no difference. Which I can write as PB LB by AB EB plus 0.08 is equal to PS LS by AS ES. Okay, so this is the overall formula what we arrive here. This one and this one, I can say that this is your stress for brass and this is stress for steel. So I can rewrite this as sigma B LB by EB plus 0.08 is equal to sigma S LS by ES. Sorry, sometimes I'll use capital and sometimes I'll use small, but both are same. Okay, don't get confused. Right, okay. So now these two are equal. Right, when I say it is equal, I can convert this. I can write this as, this can also be written as sigma B because both stresses are equal. That is my second case. Now let me write it out. What is my equation? So what I say here is this will be del L. Okay, change in length for brass. Anyway, brass and steel are equal. So this is the change in length developed for a brass. This I can write as sigma B LB divided by EB plus 0.08 is equal to del L. So now let me substitute. So your sigma B is, okay, let me consider that as sigma B. I am going to consider sigma B now. So sigma B will be equal to, right, or I will write as sigma B LB. Sigma B LB by EB will be equal to del L minus 0.08. Okay, so what will be my sigma B? Sigma B will be del L minus 0.08, right, into EB divided by LB. So let me substitute these values. So sigma B will be equal to del L, that is what we are going to identify, minus 0.08 into EB is 105 into 10 power 3 divided by LB is 300. So what is my sigma B in terms of the other values? So this is my, I think fourth equation. I don't know what equation this is. Let me consider 4. Right, this is my brass stress developed accordingly. Now let me go for steel. So for steel, del L is equal to PL by AE. So PS LS by AS ES. Actually, this is del L. So let me name it correctly. So this is del L, similar to this. Okay. So again, we know that this one will be your stress, right? So which I can write it as equation. This equation can be written as, so del L is equal to sigma S LS by ES. So which sigma S will be equal to del L into ES by LS. Okay. So which can be written as sigma S is equal to del L, ES is 205 into 10 power 3. So let me consider that as 400. So what will be the value? 512.5 del L. Let me consider this as equation 5. Now we know that stresses for these two is equal. So this and this are equal. So sigma B is equal to sigma S. I can equate it. So previously I can't equate because I don't have that del L. So because our aim is to identify del L, that's why I am doing it separately and then I am equating it. So now del L will be, so when I equate it, so sigma B is equal to sigma S. In that case, it will be del L minus, I think, 0.08 into 350, yes, into 350 is equal to 512.5 del L. So I will multiply this. I will get 350 del L minus 0.08 into 350 is equal to 512.5 del L, right? Which I can write as 512.5 del L, sorry, 512.5 minus 350 del L will be equal to 350 into 0.08. So what is the del L value? 0.172 mm, right? So this is the change in length for the composite bar.
Sir, delta L is, but I'm getting the value as the same value 0.172 as with negative sign, sir.
So you are saying that this has to be minus 0.017.
Yes, sir.
So the thing is, if we have a combination of tensile and compressive load,
Yes, sir.
then you should concentrate on one particular, you have to consider tensile as positive and compressive as negative, right? So if you have only one load, you no need to consider that. It doesn't matter. When the force is opposite to that previous force, then you go for that condition. Otherwise, you don't need to consider it.